All right, how's everybody doing tonight? We're going to do a fun Kahoot to get started with our last session here. We're going to be doing this or that is what this one's called. And if you have your phones, you can use that. You can use your computers like we did last couple times. You go to kahoot.it, just follow the instructions on the board on the overhead. Kahoot.it and type in that game pin. And we'll get started when everyone joins. Your favorite superhero that you've always wanted to be could be an option as well. Oops, sorry. Or not. Can start it. Just a moment there. One more time. Yeah, it'll be a different one probably. Couple more. I'll give you another one more. All right, I'll get started here in just a moment. All right, here we go. 10 questions, this or that. Cats or dogs? Yeah, we have mostly dog people in here. All right. Number 2, Netflix or YouTube? Ooh, about 50-50. All right. Phone call or text message? Text message. Eggs or toast? Toast. Cardio or weights? About 50-50 on that one. Facebook, Twitter. Facebook wins out. Ice cream or snow cone? Ice cream. 8 of 10. Cake or pie? That was quick. 50-50 on that. Which do you like the least? Laundry or dishes? Which do you like the least? Dishes you like the least. Makes sense. And the last one, hamburger or taco? All right, so looks like taco won on that. So that's a little fun last Kahoot. And make sure my recording's still going here. All right, cool. All right, well, this week is wrapping up with PowerPoint. And let me go ahead. And I did post an announcement here recently. My IT lab is down. If you try to log in today, it probably showed you that when you logged in. I will post again when I find out it's up. That doesn't mean you can't check prior to that because you might get to it before I do. If you do get to do it before I do on the announcement, just shoot me an email, let me know, or text message that it's up and going. They are working on it. So this last week, we're going to be focusing on PowerPoint. And tonight, we're going to go over just some introductory stuff on PowerPoint. So you've got a MyIT PowerPoint Grader hands-on. You've got a key points learned, which is basically a subjective information from you on what you've learned the past 8 weeks, things that you've gleaned from the course. And then last discussion. I'll go ahead and go over the MyIT lab before we'll do the PowerPoint helping in class. But the MyIT lab PowerPoint Grader projects hands-on. It has a general directions under requirements for the hands-on that you'll be needing to download. And all it is on the general directions is how to download zip files from the MyIT hands-on Grader project. You'll have to unzip a whole bunch of some files to start with to do the PowerPoint Grader project. You'll complete the PowerPoint Chapter 1 grade project hands-on and PowerPoint Chapter 2 Grader project hands-on. But make sure and follow it's important here, noted, to follow directions in that general direction one before attempting the PowerPoint Chapter 1 grade project or PowerPoint Chapter 2 grade project. For most of you maybe that have downloaded zip files before, that's what is going to help you the most on where files download to, like whether it's Firefox or Chrome, where they download to on your computer. It'll show you how to save files onto a thumb drive. You might say, I don't have a thumb drive. You can survive without doing this on a thumb drive, by the way. But the instructions will have you do it on a thumb drive, if I'm not mistaken. So you don't have to go out and buy one if you don't have one. A lot of students if they can get can pretty much get away without a thumb drive anymore because of cloud drives. And so, so if you don't have one, disregard the thumb drive comment in the instructions. If you do have one, that's great, but don't go out and buy one. Does that make sense? If you don't have one, you're not having to turn it in or anything. Now, do I recommend a thumb drive? I honestly don't use one much anymore myself personally, even though a lot of instructions you have for your courses might have you put content on a thumb drive. The only reason why we usually put it in a requirement for a course is so students can make it part of their financial aid or their cost for the course, especially if employers are paying for it. That way you don't have to pay it out of pocket, if that makes sense. So we can't do that without being in a requirement, which I believe was in the requirement for the 102 courses, is a thumb drive, like a 2 gig or 6 gig. I can't remember what it was. But if you don't have one, don't worry about going out and buying one. Make sense? So important, again, just make sure and do the reading on the general gen ed or the general directions from IT Lab Grader project, which again is going to help you download how to download a zip file, how to extract the files from a zip file, and how to start with that. It also will show you how to submit hands-on projects to my IT Lab. All right. So that is the My IT Lab Grader projects, 2 of them that you'll be doing. And it's due August 5th. And then the EOS project key points learned is to reflect, the purpose of this discussion is to reflect on the material covered in class. Some of you might have had advanced computer knowledge. Some of you had very little or no computer knowledge. And many just basic understanding how computers work. Kind of a wide range probably. And so we use a discussion assignment to reflect on what you've learned that has made the most impact on you. And so basically it goes through what that is and what's expected of you in the original posting and in the discussion. So just read that, follow the directions. On the Netiquette link, just goes over. You guys are pretty good at that. I've seen on your post anyway on discussion. Just making sure you follow the simple rules of Netiquette, which is, if you disagree with a comment, disagree with a comment, not a person. If that makes sense. A person's point of view, you can disagree on that, or which in this one I really don't see much of that because it's really your personal point of view of what you have learned and what's important to you. And what's important to you sometimes might not be important to your neighbor, or what you've learned. Your neighbor probably maybe already knew coming into the course and really didn't learn that because they already knew it. Make sense? So, like how many here, for instance, likes photography? Raise your hand if you like photography. Okay, so a number of you don't like photography. So one of them might be, you learned how to, I don't know, bring in a picture into Word or something while you're playing around with it, and then you thought that's pretty cool how you can do that. For some, majority of you, it would matter because you don't really like, photos. You don't like taking photos and maybe importing photos into projects. So that's just one example. Then the discussion for the week is, thanks for being a great student. What one thing grabbed your attention out of all the reading, PowerPoints, podcast assignments, discussion over the last 8 weeks, and why? And then just post your opinion on that. And I'm going to go back to, I did post this today, the intro to PowerPoint is one we're going to go over. It's a really nice post on PowerPoint. The first one we're not going to watch in class, but I do recommend watching. It's just a 5-minute video on introduction to PowerPoint. It's real helpful, I think, to watch it, and it doesn't take real long for you to watch it. It'll be beneficial probably for you, especially if you've never used PowerPoint. And I'm going to pull up my text just a little bit here. So getting to know PowerPoint 2016, it's a lot like if you've used PowerPoint 2013 or 10 or any of the prior versions. 2016 is much like the prior versions up to 2016. You've got still the same ribbon that you've seen so far in Word and Excel. The main benefit for PowerPoint for a student perspective is presentations you might do for some courses, like maybe speech or maybe English, or possibly some of your tech classes, or even work might at times have you do a PowerPoint for a presentation. So business use, educational use, you could do slideshows for weddings, you could do slideshows for a family reunion. So a number of different ways to use PowerPoint. The interface of PowerPoint, when you use it the first time, it'll come up with a screen like this that basically shows you recent PowerPoints you've created or opened. On the right is a blank presentation, which we'll do at the end of the session tonight, and taking a tour, creating an office mix, whole bunch of cool different tutorials built into PowerPoint. So if you know absolutely nothing about it, there's a help system built in PowerPoint that'll basically show you everything you need to know or any questions you might have. So it's pretty simple to use, pretty intuitive. The buttons in the PowerPoint interface, basically I recommend going over every single tab, even though you're not going to be tested on it, just to kind of see what's there, from the home menu or home tab to insert tab, design, transition, so on and so forth. Each tab will have separate objects that you can click on. Also, each section, like this font section up here, will have an expanded area that you can click on to find out more about that area. So more fonts available, more paragraph information available, more drawing tools available, things like that. So when you're working in the PowerPoint environment, the ribbon, like in all Office products, is at the top is what's called the ribbon and the quick access toolbar. The quick access toolbar you can customize to add in other quick access features. By default, you're going to have stuff like open, save, things like that. You could add also in there quick print. You could add in there a certain template you want to use all the time. So, and it's customizable. The back view stage, what it will do is it'll give you various options for saving, opening a file, printing, sharing your document. And the way you can share PowerPoint, by the way, is multiple different ways. You can share PowerPoint as a PowerPoint. You can share it as a PDF. You can share it as an HTML file. You can convert it to a web page. It'll do all that for you to where if you have different people opening up that file, they don't have to have PowerPoint per se. Because again, you can save it as a PDF and send it to folks. All you need is a PDF reader, which all your web browsers have built in already, a PDF viewer. Another cool feature of PowerPoint export is you can export a PowerPoint as a movie. Basically, it'll time each slide to where you can time each slide, say, for 5 seconds. And then when you export it as a movie, it'll save it as a movie, and then the person watching it can view it as a movie. So that's good for, like, say, if you're using it in a kiosk, computer convention, and you wanted to showcase a product, you could do that with a PowerPoint movie. You can even, by the way, in a PowerPoint, embed narration in each slide, which is kind of cool. You can embed a narration. We won't go over that for the 1 week we're going over it, but that's a kind of cool feature that you can investigate, and it's not real hard to do, where you literally narrate each slide, and it will advance after each slide narration, and then save it as a movie. So the ribbon is real important. The ribbon uses tabbed system, as I've already mentioned. It's been around for a while. They've kind of changed some of the format over the iterations of PowerPoint, but not that much. And so real quickly, I'll go over each one of these tabs, kind of what they do. The Home tab will have in it all of the font, paragraph, and formatting features of a slide. And a slide would be like this one right here. So the Mongabella Artesian Pasta will be a title, and underneath that, the subtitle. And then I can click on each one of these objects and edit the font style, size, color, things of that nature. Over here on the slide area is where I can change the layout to be different on each slide or the same on all slides. I can reset my slide to go back to the original. I can add different sections in a slide. So where it can be maybe 3 horizontal or vertical sections, possibly. Copy and paste, which is in all ribbon features for all Office products. Insert is where I can insert things like pictures, movies, sound. Design is where I can go in and design backgrounds of each slide or all slides. Transitions, I can transition between each slide a different transition, like swipe left, swipe right, swipe up, confetti, blow up, implode, explode. Animations, I can add in between each slide animations to where different objects fly in, like your words and pictures will fly in differently on animations. The slideshow tab is where you actually present your slideshow, and it can be presented in either a full slideshow format, like we do here in the class, or it could be in a kiosk format, and each slide is going to only stay up there for a few seconds, and you determine how many seconds that is. It'll just keep looping it, like in a conference or a meeting or whatever. Review is where you can actually share your PowerPoint with a team, and they can review it and add comments to each slide. And then you can have a person in that usually created it. It's the one that usually approves or disapproves the reviews. Once a review is approved, and by the way, the review process is in all Office products, even Word. Once a review is approved by the person that created it and invited you to approve to do a review, it's inserted in that slide. View allows you to view a slide, whether current slide you're on generally is how it's going to work. And then format is where if you've had highlighted, say, a picture you've clicked on, the format icon will pop up here where you can format a picture by adding maybe a shadow around the picture, or you can add a box around the picture, just as one example. Some groups I already talked about have a small arrow in PowerPoint, and we'll see that in just a second when I have you guys fired up on your computers. And when you not all will have, like for instance, the slide section does not have a little arrow here, but some of them will. And when you click on it, it'll expand out further for more options. If you wanted to hide your ribbon, which sometimes you might want to do just to have more real estate on your slideshow when you're designing it, you can choose that or minimize it. And we're back to that again. Take that box is timing out. Not because I'm not touching the screen either. See if it comes back there. Doesn't come back, I will keep recording. We'll switch to my PC. No big deal. All right, cool. I will do that. All right, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and click on the start button of your computer, and I will log in while you're doing that. And let's find PowerPoint on your computer that's in front of you. So start, programs, all programs, and then go to find PowerPoint. It'll be under Microsoft. I will do it with you here once I log in. I'm gonna do this double duty. I'll do it on my Mac and also do it on the PC here. Once you fire a PowerPoint, you should notice, even while you're waiting on my PC to boot up here, you should notice when you open it up, I'm guessing on all your computers, you're not going to have any recent files. You might have one or two, but how many has no files recent? Okay. And by the way, if your neighbor needs help finding PowerPoint, just help them out and kind of look over, see if they need help getting in. The one we're going to go over in the class is a blank presentation and show you ways to customize that presentation. So I'll give you a moment to get PowerPoint up here. While you've got it up and running, before we get into the creation part, one thing I want to show you on the quick access tool is before we get started, if you'll just click on the blank presentation one, you should have one called blank presentation, maybe Madison, Atlas, whatever. If you double click on the blank presentation, double left click on it, it'll open it up into a full view. And what we're going to do for the end class is a quick example of inserting a shape. So the challenge we're going to do is, I've already used a blank presentation when you open up PowerPoint 2016. Second, we're going to go in and change the ribbon display option to display show tabs. And that's going to be in the upper right corner of PowerPoint. And I will bring it on mine so you can kind of visually show you where it's at here before it gets up here. There we go. Cool. Finally came up. All right. So let me just show you where that's at. It's going to be towards the right side of PowerPoint. You'll have like an X, a square, a minus, and to the left of that is going to be an option to where you can change how ribbons look like or what the ribbon looks like, whether you're auto hide, I think, show tabs or show tabs and commands, something like that. So I'll fire mine up here and do it with you. Other alternatives, by the way, for PowerPoint, besides if you don't, you'll see other alternatives out there. Google Slides is one. Open Office has one as well. I like Google Slides; they work perfectly fine. You don't have as many features as you have in Office, Microsoft Office, but what most people use. The other one I like to use is Prezi.com, Prezi.com. Anybody use that before or seen that before? Prezi.com is a cool online presentation tool that you can use that's works really well. Okay, so let me go to blank presentation. All right, right here, I don't know if you can see it. Boom, right there. See where it says ribbon display options? If you click on that, we want to go down to the just show tabs. We don't want to do commands. We just want to see tabs only. And notice what happens. It kind of collapses all the stuff at the top, right? The other way you can do it is if I go to show tab auto hide ribbon, notice what that does. It kind of makes you only see just the slide itself. Then when you take your mouse and go up towards, it brings back that whole view. I want everybody to go to the show tabs. And then what we're going to do is, get down to my instructions here. We're going to, there's a drop down arrow next to the quick access toolbar, and click over here. you'll see the quick access toolbar. And you'll notice right now, save is selected, undo, redo, start from beginning. We're going to add in new, quick print, and spelling. So just click on new, go back again on the drop down, and we're going to do quick print and then spelling. And you'll see as you add them, it starts up here at the top left, all those quick access tools. And again, it's right here where you can do that. Now, when you get more advanced, you can actually add more commands in that as well, which you can type in those commands. You can launch other programs, a whole bunch of cool stuff. You start an MP3 player and go to a certain song if you wanted to in a quick access toolbar. So a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. If you have a touchpad, you can change it to mouse mode or touch mode. Either one, it'll toggle between the two. One I like to use a lot is this print preview, even though that one's nice because when you click on that one, it gives you a nice preview of the slideshow along with the ability to print it immediately. And then when I hit escape, it goes back right to where I was before. So I'll bring mine down to where it's just like yours, which should look like mine now. I've got save, undo, repeat or redo, start from beginning, new, quick print, and spell check. Everybody got that? Next, what we're going to do is in the tell me bar, there's a tell me bar, and it's basically going to be right here where it says tell me what to do. And this is what I talked about earlier. I mean, AI is all around, right? Artificial intelligence. It kind of built at Microsoft, like Amazon, like Apple, has starting to build AI into their products. And so this is one example where you can type in whatever from how to print, how to create a project, how to create a slide, how to add a slide, whatever. We're going to do in this one, shape, the word shape. Doesn't matter on syntax, and be uppercase or lowercase. Once you type in the word shape, you have the ability now to, and once you type in shape and hit enter, notice all the options you have now when you hit enter, the enter key on your keyboard. All these different options. What I want you to do is choose one shape from the menu and double click somewhere on your slide, and it doesn't matter where, to add it in there. Doesn't matter what object you select. I'm going to select a star here. And I'm going to double click anywhere on the slide here. Notice how it added the star in my slide. Okay, I'll do that again. Show you how I did it. Tell me what you want, shape, press enter, and you select whatever object you want. You won't see anything happen when you select it, by the way. But when you double click anywhere in the slide, it should show up exactly where you double click. All right, so I'll do it over here on the left now. And then you can take that slide, that object now, and you can click on it and move it around. Click on it and click and drag it. What I'd like you to do is these other objects are on the slide, the title and the subtitle. I'm going to have you click on the top one where my mouse is. And see how when I click on that, it gets little dots all around it. And what that does is just selects the object. And now I can hit the delete key on my keyboard, which is towards the right part of your keyboard before the num keypad. It's below insert, the insert key, and to the left of the end key. If I hit delete, it gets rid of that one. If I click on the bottom one now, do the same thing. Hit delete, gets rid of it. Now, if you take that object and put it right in the middle of the slide, you can make it a little bigger. Now, you see how I'm dragging mine in the corners? You can morph it, by the way, to your liking. If you don't like it to be morphed, if you hit the shift key and drag any corner object, it won't morph it. It'll keep the constraints of that object, both width and height, as you click and drag it. And so once you select it, put it like right there in the middle of your slide. Do I need to do that over for anyone? So I can do it over again. Okay, cool. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to show you do word art. Word art's kind of cool. We put a little object in here. We've made it a little larger than it was originally. Now I'm going to go up here to the insert menu. And I'm going to go over here to word art and click on word art. And I'm going to want you to select any of these here. If you don't like any of those, you can click this little icon here and expand out further. It'll give you a few more, not many, maybe one or two. I'm going to go ahead and click this one right here. The fill blue accent 1 outline background hard accent. And notice when I click on it, it puts it right into the star that I created, and I'm going to open it up and just go, some POW or something like that. You see in a cartoon or something. But one of the cool things about this POW object is once I click on this word art object, and once I've added some text in there, whatever I want to put in there, you'll notice up here when I click away, what I mean by click away is if I click anywhere in a white space on the PowerPoint and then come back to that word art, you'll notice the format tab comes up. And on the format tab, I can change maybe the fill to be like maybe white since that's a blue background, or maybe I want the fill to be none, no fill, but I want the outline of this to be different than what it is right now. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to go, you know what? I want the no fill. I want the line instead of that blue. Maybe I want it to be different, like red. No, I don't like that. I think blue's better. You know? So with that white outline, I can see the word, but if that white outline wasn't there, I could change the background of that as well. I'm just going to highlight it. And it does give you the option to change it, the text size here as well. And you can even change the transparency, which would actually allow it to kind of blend into the background a little bit more. There we go. Cool. So there's mine. Nothing real fancy. Now we've added an object. We've added a word art. You can play all day with the word art. Now I'm going to show you how to add a second slide. Okay. Before we do that, though, I want you to go back to the show ribbon, and we're going to add in the show tabs and command again, where we can see more stuff to make it a little easier. So the way I like to use it, by the way, when I'm creating a slide, is I will do the show tabs a lot and get rid of the commands. Then when I'm adding slides, I usually keep the tabs and commands visible, and this is why. With show tabs and command, I can come over here and click on this new slide drop down. Click on the drop down for me. What it's going to do is you can add another title slide, or maybe you want to add title and content, which would be the very next slide after the title slide. So we'll go ahead and do that one. I'll click on that and notice how it gives me a title and content. On the title, I want you to put in your first name and then your last name. And then I want you to put in what I'm typing in on the overhead, except I want you to put in I'm going to put in my favorite color is green. So you put in whatever your favorite color is. Okay. Now, last thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to have you actually look for, we're going to add in now without me showing you, I'm going to have you add in a shape again. This time I want you to choose the color, whatever color it was that you chose. Mine's green. I'm going to change the color of that shape to be the color that you like. Like mine's going to be green. So I'm going to bring a shape in. I'm going to change it to the color green. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So you'll notice over here on the right, I can do green, or if you wanted to type it in just like we did earlier, you can type in shape in the quick find. I'll add in, I'll do another, like another star, I guess. And now it's blue. Changing it to green. I'm making it larger and centering it in there the best I can. So again, you can use the tell me what to do option if you want to, might be easier. I like to use that a lot, especially in all the office products, because you don't have to remember where your own ribbon stuff is. It will actually show you where it's at automatically. Help you find it. You can access it a lot easier. Last thing we're going to do on this is create a third slide, but this time we're going to show you how to add in media. We're going to add in a picture of your choosing. So this one, my favorite color is green. The next one, we'll do another slide. We'll do the same one. We'll do a new slide, and let's do, let's see here. Let's pick on this one. We'll do the picture with caption. We'll do that one, picture with caption. So here I'm going to do in on this one. I want you to put in here. Let's see what I put on that one. Yeah, I'll put in your name on that as well on third slide. And I'm going to put in here my favorite animal is a eagle, bald eagle. We'll do bald eagle. All right. And instead of trying to find a clip art, which we could do, we're actually going to go to the internet, and I'm going to use Chrome and show you how to download a picture and bring it into PowerPoint. Okay. So go ahead and fire up your favorite browser. I'm going to use Chrome on mine in the example here. Do what now? All right, I can help you. Oh, you're fine. Oh, that's good. Just put a cat. And you're ready now to go to your Chrome. Yeah. So what you want to do is go to google.com. Should go to Rock Valley College, but we're going to go to google.com. And I want you to click on images. All right, and I'm going to type in on mine, bald eagle. Type in your favorite. And one of the cool things I want to show you about Google Images, you might not know, maybe some of you do know. You can go in here in Tools on Google Images. It's hidden by default, you'll notice. But notice when I click on Tools, I have a whole bunch of cool different things I can choose now. I can say, okay, hey, usage rights. That's a big thing, especially if you put it on a company website or even a personal website. You can say, you know what, I only want to use images that are labeled for reuse. I mean, anybody can use them. Doesn't matter. Okay. I also want to change the size from any size to exactly, I'm going to have you type this in actually, 400 pixels by 400 pixels. So 400 by 400, and then click go. That'll bring it down even lower, limited, right? But you could do whatever, I could do. If you don't find many in that category, you can change that, by the way. Instead of exact, you could do maybe, I don't know, go to larger than and maybe 400 by 300 if you can't find many. There you go. Looks like I found quite a few there. So just play around. You can do either exact, maybe what I do. We'll do 400, 300, see if that does what that brings us. I actually want. 300. Here's the exact size. Meaning photos that people have put on the web that you can use. Might be best just to do larger than 400 by 300, looks like. Cool. But what's cool about that is if you need an exact size for a page or for a slot in your PowerPoint, you can tell Google exactly what size you want. It'll do it for you. You wouldn't have to go crop it or anything. It'll do it for you. That's kind of nice. We'll just do it that way. So I've got larger than 400 by 300. I've got label for reuse on my bald eagle. Now I'm going to click on a bald eagle here that I like. I'm going to do this one with a flying in the air here. This one here, I'm going to click on it. Go and click on yours that you like, of your favorite animal that you typed in. And make sure you click on it because you don't want to download it from this view. You want to click on it in this bigger view here. And you'll notice you can't see it on my overhead. Maybe you can. You have really good eyes. But mine says here it's a 1920 by 1280. Images may be subject to copyright. What I'm going to do here now is right-click on this bald eagle, and you right-click on your animal, wherever that might be. And we're going to choose, I'm in Chrome. I'm going to choose Save Image As. And it'll put this image by default right in the documents of my computer, which is fine. I'll leave it right in there. And I'm going to leave the name in mine the same because it says bald eagle in flight. But yours might say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.jpg or something. You might rename it to something that makes more sense for that photo. So if it's a lion, rename it to lion, bear, so on and so forth. And make sure the save as type is either a JPEG or a PNG file, something like that. If it's not, go to another image till you find one that is either a JPEG image or a PNG image. I got that? Then you're going to click Save. Once you hit Save, you'll see the prompt in your browser that it was saved, and we'll just believe that it was saved, and we will exit out of your web browser. Now we're ready to go into the right side of the slide 3 where it says Pictures. There's a little icon here, by the way, it says Pictures. Double click on it. It'll go right to your computer. And I think you're going to have to go to Quick Access on your guys' computer there. Go to Documents, and it should be right in there. So Quick Access, Documents, and there's my bald eagle in flight. I'm going to double click on my bald eagle in flight. It's going to bring it into the slide. And I'm going to apply one that I like. And you'll see here at the top where it says Format. Yours will say the same, by the way. If I click on this Chuck Conkle, Format's not there. Or it is, but it's actually for text. But we click on the image, Format's there now for images. So I'm going to select a nice picture style that I like. I want to choose that one there. It's kind of cool. It's kind of a 3D, kind of a slanted, kind of perspective kind of view. Bevel perspective is what it's called. Kind of looks kind of cool. I'm going to make it just a tad bit bigger. All right. And if I wanted to change the style, I can do that again and again and again until I like it. Now I've got my first slide, pow. I've got my second slide, my favorite color green. I've got my third slide. My favorite animal is a bald eagle, and you have the same on yours. Now I'm going to show you how to change things on the Design tab. Actually, let's go. Yeah, let's go to the Design tab. I like that. If you click on the first slide, we're going to change the design of each slide to something different just to play around. Okay. Right now, the slide that is a default is this one right here, which is the office theme used by all slides. But I can go over here and choose a different one. And I hover over each one of these. I definitely don't want to use some of them, but some of them might look kind of cool on these themes. So I'm going to select one just on these top 5 or 6 that are up here that I like. So since I like green, I'm actually going to use that one, but you might like the next one, or you might say, you know what, I like this one, but I don't like green, but I'm going to change it. Or you can click on this drop down and select more options as well. You just want to select something that complements that first slide. For me, I'm going to stick with that green one. I like that one. And notice when I selected it, it applied it to all 3 of my slides. And it formatted my slides differently too, according to that slide theme design, okay? So find one that you like, and it's going to apply it to all of the slides, okay? Once you do that, I want you to go to the transitions tab, and here is where you'll notice on each slide, transition is set to none. There's no transitions on anything. It's all none. We're going to do this. On the very first slide, we're going to click on the object that you put in, whichever it was. Mine was PAL. But you'll notice when I clicked on the first slide and I did this wipe, it'll give you a preview of what it's going to look like. I want to select each slide and select a different transition. Doesn't matter what transition it is, just kind of play around. There you go. So first one I have wipe, second one I have reveal, third one I have random bars. All right. Next is the actual slideshow. If I click on the slideshow now, and I have different options where I can set it up as a slideshow. I could set it up as a kiosk speaker, which is the default. But what I'm going to have you do is this. I'm going to have you go to the bottom or the top left of slideshow tab and click on from beginning. And it should go right to that first transition like mine. If you hit the tab or the space bar, or doesn't matter what key, space bar, right arrow key, either one will work. If I hit right arrow key, by the way, and decide to go back to the first slide, I can hit the left arrow and it'll go back to the first slide. So I like to use the left and right arrow keys just because of that. If I want to go back and forth. So as I keep hitting the right arrow key on my keyboard, it'll go all the way to the last slide. After I hit the right arrow key on the last slide, it's going to say end of slideshow. The other cool shortcut I'll show you here is the F5 key. So if you look at the top row of your keyboard, there's a whole bunch of F keys. If you tap the F5 key for me, it'll automatically start that slideshow for you. Now, let's say you're talking about something in a meeting and you want everybody's attention, but you don't want them to be distracted by what's on the screen. You can right-click in the slideshow view, which you can do right now, and go down to the screen and go to black screen. Okay? The B key on your keyboard multiple times. It'll go black, back, black. Also go W for white. Okay. The other cool feature here is I can draw on this. I want to go down here. I'm on a screen and say, well, I'll go to my slide and I'll have you go to your slide that has your favorite animal. And I'm going to right click on this bald eagle. And I'm going to go down here and say, you know what? I want to add in a pointer option. I want to really highlight something here. So I'm going to do a laser pointer. This top one, this laser pointer, I'm going to select it. And notice now anywhere I move my mouse on that picture, it's highlighting whatever I'm wanting to talk about without it's a virtual pointer basically, which saves you about $10 at Walmart. You don't have to buy a pointer. You can do it this way in your PowerPoint, just with your mouse. If you have a touchpad, by the way, and you have PowerPoint on a touchpad, like if you have, say, a Surface Pro or an iPad or whatever you're showing a PowerPoint on, you can do the same thing. You can use your finger as a pointer versus an actual real pointer on the overhead. Does that make sense? That's kind of nice. You can also change a pointer to be something besides what you would normally have. So maybe you want to say, I want to select some stuff here. So I'm going to select a pin instead of the laser pointer. And now I'm going to select some objects here. I'm going to circle it as I'm talking about it. You can do that as well. And one of the things that's cool is once you do that with PowerPoint and say we hit the escape key to end it, it'll ask me, hey, do you want to save that ink annotation that you just did? If I say yes, if I say keep it, it's going to keep it in the slide. Boom. Then I can send it to everybody in a meeting, and they don't have to feverishly write down stuff. It's all in the slide. Everything from the annotations to everything that you typed in. And one of the things cool too on the annotations, by the way, besides just circling something, if I go to annotations here and say I want to highlight something, I can also highlight anything on the slide, and it's smart enough to know what color to choose on that. So those are a few different helps, and I'll go ahead and hit escape. Escape, by the way, will end your slide on any slide, and then if you don't want to keep it, you can just hit discard, and it's going to take it out of the slide. Make sense? Pretty cool, right? And you might have used PowerPoint for years and never knew you could do those little features, which is kind of nice. I do use the B and Y key quite a bit, especially in meetings. I like using that one because it literally, just blanks the screen out. The white one kind of keeps the brightness. So if you're in a room where the lights are off, I'll use a white a lot just to kind of put light in the room still without having to turn the lights on. That's kind of nice. And so one of the rules, though, I'll end with on PowerPoint is you always want on a PowerPoint a title slide. You want your content of that slideshow in between the title slide and the end slide. The end slide, you want it to be like, is there any questions type of comment, along with if you're in a meeting or if you're in a presentation for a group, you want your contact information on there. Some other rules of thumb kind of to go by is you want no more than four bullets on a slideshow. Okay, you don't want a lot of words. In fact, Steve Jobs kind of revolutionized the way people do slideshows, where he did a lot of images and just like a one-word slide. Not so overwhelming for people where it's confusing. So images to portray what you're talking about, a word, that's what I do. Or you can just, if you have to use words, use them no more than 4 bullets per slide. And I like the slide type or the font type to be no lower than 24 points on a slide. No lower than 24 points. Make sense? Cool. And you can also, by the way, bring in movies. You can bring the thing on movies. The last tip I'll share with you is you can convert movies, like say YouTube videos. So you find a cool clip you want to include. You can include YouTube in a PowerPoint, but I don't recommend it. I recommend downloading that video from YouTube and then inserting it into PowerPoint. And all your web browsers, by the way, have plugins to help you download videos. And I'll share one last one with you on videos, which sometimes you might want to use for a presentation. And since I'm in Chrome, we'll use that. The other browser I like to use the plugins for, actually better than Chrome, is Firefox. In fact, I'll use Firefox as the example. I like Firefox plugins better for this one. So I'll show you Firefox plugin here, and I'll do it on the recording as well here so you'll see it. Everybody's familiar with, since we're talking about eagles, in the example here, I'll find a YouTube video about eagles. And let me just go to YouTube to find it to be better. It's probably going to bring in the Eagles band too, for those of you old enough to remember who the Eagles band was. Anybody remember the Eagles band? One person, two people, okay, three people. Or just check them out. You'll like them. All right, so let me see here. I'm find a Eagles. You know what? I better just do bald eagle. Probably better, right? Might get a better result. Be careful when you're typing too. You can get stuff you don't want to see. All right, so I'm going to do this real quick duration one. Let's see. I want to do filter of a short video, shorter than 4 minutes. This 52-second one, catching this bald eagle catches salmon. Let's see here. Here we go. Here we go. Boom. That's pretty cool. All right. So in YouTube, there's no option, unless you have an account with YouTube, a lot of times to download, which you can get an account, but there's also a cool way to do it within Firefox. I can come over here and I want to add in a option called add-ons. And you'll notice a whole bunch of ones in here. I'm going to click on, just type in the word download. And let's see here. And it will give you the ones from the most important down or the most best match. I can do like say, download video on YouTube. Yeah, we'll see if this one works for us. Download video on YouTube. Okay, let's go back to my bald eagle. I have to download. Let's try this one. Sometimes you got to do more ones. All right, now I'm going to go here, copy that URL and get out of Firefox and go back in. So we exit Firefox altogether. Let's see. Some of these videos will not allow you to download them. So let's see if find one that does. If you don't see it pop up on the down, you'll see in the second one I'm talking about. Nope. Those are working for me. There we go. Let's try this one. Download video helper. There we go. This is what I want. Button should show up here for me. It's working right. Won't be being blocked at the college level. Find out. Let me see what I have on my mat on this one here for me. Hang on a second. Okay, the one I use is called One Click YouTube Video Downloader.
Oh, I love that thing. I used to download a lot of
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Do what?
Use that to download music. Oh,
Mhm.
as videos.
Okay, this is the one. Yeah, this is the one I want. I think is this one click YouTube video. Let's try that one. Again, I usually sometimes have to close the browser, reopen it. And the reason I like to download them is because, why do you think? Why do you think you want to download a video versus playing from YouTube in a presentation or a class? What do you think the purpose is? What?
So it's not downloading.
Yeah, like, buffers, right? That buffering, or it's going to happen. You say it works perfect at home, works perfect before you come to class or a meeting, but when you get in a meeting, it just sits there and spins, right? You don't want that. So here's my video. It's a minute 51, super slow-mo video. And you'll notice my download button. It looks like the one that worked was this one-click YouTube downloader is the one that works. And there should be a download button there available. And what I suggest is selecting the highest resolution one. Like in this one is the MP4 is what I usually select. The MP4 highest resolution, which is towards the top. And this one's 720p. I'm going to click download, and I'm going to let it download to the downloads folder. That's fine. If it's a real ugly name, which a lot of times it will be, I'll rename the video to just something more simple like Eagle. That's fine. That's Eagle.mp4. Okay, now if I go back to my PowerPoint and I'm gonna go add another slide for my home menu. And this one I'm just gonna do a blank slide, and I'm gonna insert the video. And in order to do that here, I'm going to insert video on my PC. So quick access download. There's that MP4. Okay. Now, if I go ahead and just play this one slide to show you. Here we go. And what's cool about it is once you save this file, which I haven't had you do, once you save this file, it's going to save everything you need, pictures, video, everything. And I'm going to save this actually onto my PC. So I'll have you do the same on your computer. So if you just hit the file menu, save, go down to where it says this PC, documents is fine, and rename presentation 1 to your last name. So mine's conkle.pptx. Click save. And I'm going to exit out of PowerPoint. I'm going to exit out of the browser. And I'm going to go to the bottom of your computer where it says File Explorer. Click on File Explorer. Go to my documents. And there is the conkle.pptx. And you'll notice it's about 29 megs in size. If I open this up, that video should still be there, just like I tested it. You can click on the slide or you can hit the play button down here, either one will work. And you can, by the way, on the video, I've done this before, you can make it to where on the video that this video is going to start automatically by just clicking on the video, actually right-clicking, see where it says start. I want to do automatically, and I'll show you what happens. I'll go to this slide 3. Now when I go to slide 4, the video starts automatically. And I do that a lot of times. That way you don't have to remember to click anything. You don't have to click the page or anything like that. Pretty cool, right? So YouTube videos, download them as an MP4 with that plugin. And the plugin was the one-click YouTube video downloader. And I have it screenshotted here in the video for you where you can see it. So that's the last point, is videos download as MP4. Video duration under a minute usually is what I tell students, to keep a video under a minute on a slideshow. And that's some real quick tips on PowerPoint. Questions? All right. So you guys have been a great bunch of students. Been really exciting. I can tell you're real excited. But I recommend with this course and any other course you take on campus, if this is the first time in the building, this building, which it might be for some of you, I do recommend checking out other courses we offer in this building, in the CIS division, which I teach in. And best way to find out what courses we teach, again, I've mentioned this in week 1 and 2, is myrvc.org, which I know some of you have started following us on Twitter and on Facebook. And from this myrvc.org page, you can find all the certificates that we offer. The latest certificates we've added is mobile app developer that I created, that certificate. That certificate is a mobile app developer certificate, allows you to, with that certificate, to begin working as a mobile app developer after taking 3 classes. The 3 classes are basically 170, CIS170, programming logic, CIS280, which I'm teaching in the fall. It's iOS development with iPhones and iPads. And then 245 is Android development. With those 3 courses, you can go out and you can develop apps for yourself or for a company here in town. There's tons of websites too that allow you to work at home and develop for folks as well. You don't have to leave your house. And you can do that as a consignment type of programmer, to where basically you're working on your own and getting paid to do it. Also, we have projects on campus all the time that we're working on with students. So that's the first one, which is, and by the way, the mobile app certificate or mobile app developer field in this area, just in Illinois, there's something like 1,300 jobs open right now in different facets for mobile app developer, because developing platforms as far as Windows, mobile, or we'll just say desktop or mobile apps. Mobile apps is surpassing desktop, laptop apps, right? Because people are using their devices more so than they're using their laptops or desktops. So mobile app developer certificate's the latest, and then also network technician is the second one. The network technician certificate is created by Stephanie Washer. 102 is a prereq. You've already taken that after this class. 110, I teach that one. That's an intro to networking on how to build computer networks real simply. 262 is A+ Essentials, how computers work. And then 270 is Introduction to Unix Linux, which you learn in that one a lot of command prompts, a lot of command tools in Windows. And so with this certificate, you can go in and begin working as an entry-level network technician in local companies here in the Rockford region. And so those 2 certificates I recommend, along with the other ones that are in there as well. In here is also a blog that we have. We keep updated events coming up, media, would be pictures, and then e-brochures, a whole bunch of those. My Path is where you can actually look at some students that have taken courses here and what they're doing now and what certificates are available. So again, myreceipt.org. Recommend following us on Facebook and Twitter. We do have an iOS app and an Android app, both that you can download and play with. And so love to see you in other classes in the fall and spring. If you have any questions about any courses, you can ask myself or anyone on staff here in the CIS division. We're more glad to help you. So you guys have been a great bunch of students. Hope you have a great rest of your summer. How many's taking fall semester classes, full load? How many's going to do the orientation here? I think it's in the next week for new students, new student orientation. All right, cool. All right, well, I'll be doing that. So anyway, if not, I'll see some of you in the fall and spring. And you guys have been a great bunch of students. And I will see you around campus, hopefully. All right? No, that was just for practice. You don't need to turn that in.